Hello, and welcome to episode 595 of Prog Reviewing. Today we're doing another Yes one, because that's why you come here, because you don't care about Curved Air or Soft Machine. You just want that sweet Yes and Pink Floyd and Genesis stuff. You don't really care about other bands. So I'm just doing this because it's the Yes 50th anniversary year. Woohoo! And I think actually, is it today, the 4th of August, that they actually played their first ever gig 50 years ago. In 1918, whatever it was. It feels like it. Anyway, this is Keys to Ascension though. This is like the kind of the complete version. So I'm going to do Keys to Ascension 1 and 2 all at the same time. Alright? Oh, this is complicated. This is a complicated one. This is one I wasn't looking forward to doing. Because there were two parts. There was Keys to Ascension Part 1 and Keys to Ascension Part 2. And then they released Keys Studio, which was the studio tracks. I'll explain. And then they put it all in one big box with the DVD. Because, hey, we can squeeze a little bit more money out of the fans, can't we? Actually, this actually makes sense because they actually did it for a budget price of a tenner. So I can't complain. I mustn't grumble. So yeah, Keys to Ascension. Go back. It was released 28th of October 1996. But he said it comes out at the end of the Talk tour, and Trevor Rabin goes, oh, and I can't do this anymore. I've got nothing more to add. And so they find themselves without a keyboard player and a guitarist. So you just have Squire, White and Anderson. Castle Communications comes along and says, hey, we want you to make it a Yes album, because that's how music works, isn't it? Record companies come along and offer you money to make a record. I'm sure bands used to make the record first, then took it to these studios. So anyway, that was the incentive for the record, and so they get back Howe and Wakeman because they want it to be like a classic Yes thing. This all happens before the internet. I mean, there was the internet, but before the proliferation of the internet. So when I got this, I had no idea where it came from. I don't even remember. I just remember it like being on the shelves and buying it. I don't remember it being particularly trumpeted over there here in the UK. There were probably adverts, but I was working, so I was probably not paying as much attention as I should be. So yeah, what we get here with the Keys to Ascension Part 1 and 2 is you get it's half live. There's a live CD and studio material on the second CD. That makes sense, doesn't it? It's quite interesting to read the Wikipedia entry, because it says the Keys to Ascension is the 4th live album and 15th studio album from Yes. And then if you go to Part 2, it says it's the 5th live album and 16th studio album from Yes. Some would argue that. Some would argue. I would argue is any of this a true studio album from Yes. And that is why both lots of studio material was consolidated onto Keys Studio, which was, I think, was released 2001-ish. Didn't buy it because I had the two issues, and then I sold it, and then you know what I'm like, buying and selling stuff. So that's where we're at. Is it any good? Again, this is a tricky review, because yeah, you get oh, I didn't want to do this. This is awful. Just trying to get, because it's just such a. It's like one of those, when you go to one of those like freak exhibits and they've sewn a fish onto a monkey. It's like that. It's a weird amalgamation of live and studio. So the first CD, it was recorded at the, where was it recorded? I always say it wrong. San Luis Obispo. Sounds about right. Obispo. What's that when it's at home? I'm going to say SLO, and that's in California apparently. I think they make these places up. I don't think it actually exists. And the live stuff was again recorded in the same place, but at the Fremont Theatre in San Luis Obispo. That's just going to set the whole of the comment section alight with people correcting my pronunciation, which I think you'll find is utterly correct. So yeah, the live stuff and the studio stuff was recorded in the same place. Apparently Rick Wayne was pretty pleased with that because it was out of the way and there wasn't any glare of... Who would be glaring it? Yes, in 1995, 96, no one. But he found it a comfortable arrangement. So first CD gets Siberian Khatru, whoopee, Revealing Science of God, America, Onward, Awaken, and then this carries on to the second disc around about Starship Trooper. And then you get 2 studio tracks tacked on at the end. Be the One and then that is. Lovely title. That is. Which one are you going to play? That is. The what? Who's on first? So anyway, is it any good? The live stuff it's all right. It's a bit ploddy. It sounds okay. I mean, it works better as the DVD edition because of course there's a DVD edition with pictures. It's even got a commentary track, which is unusual for like a live recording. But oh god, is it any good? I mean, I remember being underwhelmed by it back in Deer. Underwhelmed by it. Because you know it's more Yes live stuff and it's the same old material. Though it's good that they do America and Awaken. I think that's like a bonus. Just like because those tracks you don't hear very often done in a live context. So yeah, in that respect, there's you perk up a bit. But it didn't set my pulse rate rushing when I heard it back in there. And then you got the 2 studio tracks, and they go on a bit because Be the One is nearly 10 minutes long, and then that is almost 20 minutes long. 20 minutes. That means this is almost a prog epic. So you're getting 40 minutes of studio material. That would have been nearly a whole album back in the day, back in the 70s. I mean, Be the One is a bit... that is mildly more interesting. Mildly. But you get the feeling that they needed a bit more time, that production was lacking. I think they needed a good producer on this. But, yeah. I don't think it doesn't do anything for me. However, he says, however, if you waited a year, 3rd of November 1997, Keys to Ascension 2 was out, and this follows the same pattern, and it's studio and live, or live and studio, whichever way you want to say it. But this one's a bit more distinct because one CD is wholly live material. I've seen all good people going for the one, Time of the Word, Close to the Edge, Turn of the Century and You and I on one disc, and then the second disc has the studio tracks. And here, for me, the studio tracks are a little bit more, a bit more yesy, a bit more finished, a bit more polished, and a bit more, feel more like an album, feel more like proper album tracks to me. So yeah, Mind Drive, which I think is really cool. I think it's probably one of the it's one of those things that's kind of hidden in the Yes discography. I think it was born out of the XYZ stuff. When they were doing before. Was it in between Tormato and Drama, or was it after Drama and between 90125? I always get it mixed up. I'm sure someone will correct me. When Squire and White were working with ex Led Zeppelin, that's why it was XYZ, ex Yes Zeppelin. Clever that. Not YKK, which is a band formed by people that made Zips. I love doing that joke. It was pretty zippy though, and had some teeth to it. These are pure 100% dad jokes, so I don't expect you to appreciate them. But yeah, Mind Drive I quite enjoy, and also you hear bits of it. It was kind of the basis of the drum improvisation on the Union tour between White and Bruford. There's the doodle-dun, 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 doodle-dun drum motif, which tootles it along. And yeah, 18 minutes 37, I like. Same goes, again, a lot of the tracks on this I do enjoy. Footprints, very very positive. Bring me to the power. Again, some of these I think came from previous sessions and reworked. Children of Light as a Vangelis co-write on it, and I think was meant to be on an ABWH album, on the second ABWH album, but never made it, but it makes it here. Again, pleasant enough. And the track Sign Language rounds off the album. And yeah, I mean, it's not a bad collection. But is it a Yes album? You know, like a studio album? I don't know. It's an odd thing. It's always left me conflicted, because it's like there's the live stuff. There's the I'm a purist. I expect an album to be wholly studio, unless it's King Crimson, Starless and Bible Black. I've contradicted myself again there. So yeah, and I do enjoy the second part better than the first part. And with the Key Studio stuff, they glued the studio stuff together. I don't think that's going to help it, to be honest. I think it'll probably make those other two tracks be the one, and that is seem a little weaker. And of course, I'm sure there'll be many people out there that disagree with me. And then, of course, there was the DVD, which is the live performance from that period. And what they did, I think there might have been 2 editions of this. I'm not sure, but this was released. I don't know when this was released, but this was on a budget thing. And look at it. Look, you get lots of Roger Dean artwork, and look, there's loads of discs and things, and then there's a DVD as well. And a booklet. Oh God, I can't fit it all in. That's what she said. So yeah, that's one way to deal with all those CDs you haven't sold, isn't it? But if you do find a copy of that, it's worth a tenner. That's how much I paid for it. So yeah, how do I rate this? Because it exists. This material exists in many different formats, in many different, oh boy. So I'm going to rate. This gets a 5 purely for value for money. So it's 5 Mind Drives out of 5 if you find this for a tenner, purely for the money. But I think the Keys to Ascension concept as a work doesn't work for me. Just it's I don't really care much for hearing more. I don't need to hear Roundabout again or whatever it is. Do they do Roundabout on this one? They probably don't even do Roundabout. Yes, they do. Thank fuck for that. Phew. I don't need to hear Roundabout live again. So yeah, it left me kind of confused as a concept and that. And again, if I was to rate it, I'd probably go towards that part 2 studio disc more. That I found more satisfying than the other one. So fuck. So Keys to Ascension Part 1, I give 2 that is out of 5. That's 2 that is out of 5, because I don't need another Yes live album. But Keys to Ascension Part 2, I hope you're all writing this down. I'm giving 3.5 footprints out of 5. It's 3.5 footprints out of 5. I think that's fair. And this has been an utterly mind-bending edition of Prog Review, he says. Mind-bending. Because only Yes could do this. Only Yes could bring this out as a concept and then repackage it and refill it and stuff it again and then do this and So there you go. So if you haven't discovered the joy that is Keys to Ascension, pick up this, because it's got the DVD and it's got it all, it's got all the CDs as well, so you can take your pick. I mean, the only the sad thing is none of those new studio pieces were on the DVD, you know, or on the live, on the live recordings, you know. And I think that's a bit of a shame, because I'd like to have heard live version, especially live version of Mind Drive. I'm sure that's good fun. I'm sure it must be out there somewhere. They must have done it. They must have done more. I feel like I've heard it live, he said. I feel like I've heard it live somewhere. I've probably just dreamt it in my imagination. Let me just find Mind Drive. No, they didn't. But it did make it onto Yes in a Word compilation. So there you go. So it must be something that the band isn't too upset by. So anyway, I've bleated on long enough. I've been talking about Keys to Ascension Part 1 and 2, Keys Studio, Keys to Ascension the DVD, this, which is like the complete Keys to Ascension. Oh man, you get value for money here, you know. Get value for money. I don't even know how many albums I've reviewed today, all in one show, you know. And people complain that my stuff isn't dynamic. What? Dynamic? What? That was a criticism. The only way this could have got better if I'd have eaten a cheese and pickle sandwich. It's the only way I think I could have improved this video, because everybody knows that Yes videos are improved by the consumption of cheese and pickle sandwiches. Branston Pickle, my friend. Small Chunk. That's my nickname. The wife gives me Small Chunk. Anyway, on that, there's only one more thing left to say, apart from don't forget to give me all your money. There's the Patreon that needs funding. I need funding, man. I need funding because the YouTube adverts and the algorithm isn't what it used to be, and the algorithm needs engagement, because I also need you to leave a comment. What's your opinion on this? Like I give a fucking shit. I've got to pretend to care, because that's how successful YouTubers get on. I'm your friend. Buy my t-shirt. Yeah? So I want to get engaged with you, you know. We're going to share some social intercourse. Oh yeah. And I want you to tell me what you like about Keys to Ascension. Do you like the DVD? Maybe you like Mind Drive like me, or maybe you think it's all just a bloated waste of time. Please express your opinion in the comment section below, and don't forget to thumbs this up, because again, it's all engagement. Or thumbs it down, Mr. Thumbs Down Man. Hit me with your thumbs down. It's all engagement, and it gets me lubed up for the YouTube algorithm. Huh? And then there's the social media. I don't know why anybody is with Facebook anymore. It's just a heaping pile of shit. But I'm right to Twitters. I love the Twitters. You get more nudie pics on the Twitters. You don't get the censorship that you get with Facebook. So I like the Twitters, because you get lots of titty and muff pics on there, you know. So that's where you'll find me. And now I've alienated all my right-on viewers. I don't care. Don't give a fuck. There's only one more thing left to say, and you know, I've prattled on. I'm trying to get to like the 20-minute mark, so this can be as long as Mind Drive. People say I could have listened to Mind Drive instead of listening to this rubbish. You win a billion kudos points if you leave that comment in this, and I will delete it, of course, because that's the way I roll. But have you been entertained? Have I shoved entertainment up your entertainment hole? Huh? That's all you've got to ask yourself. And with that, I'm going to say it. Oh yeah, I am. I'm threatening you with it. Prog on.